Alrighty, so this feels a little weird. My first ever audio review in a while that's not soundcore related. I gotta do these more often because we gotta definitely check out some new earbuds. But on today's review, I have a pair of earbuds for you guys to check out that are not only worth your consideration, but I gotta tell you guys, for the price that they're advertised at and for everything given, they are a pretty solid pair of earbuds. And today we're gonna take a look at the HiFi Air made by FiiTii, excuse me if I said the name wrong, and I'm gonna talk all about it and why I think you should definitely check them out. All that on today's episode of Technoid, so stay tuned. Now, full disclosure, full transparency before the video starts. Yes, these review is made possible by the company FiiTii. Excuse me if I said your name wrong. FiiTii, I'm sorry. But they were very kind enough to reach out to me before the filming of this video, and they did send me these review earbuds. And I just want to take this moment to thank you in advance and also thank you for the opportunity. However, I also want to clarify to all viewers watching that what they've sent me does not reflect, nor does it have any say on my opinion on what I think of the earbuds, and more to come on this episode. So I wanted to give this disclaimer out before you watch the video, just so you understand. Now that we've done that, let's talk about the earbuds. So the HiFi Air are a regular pair of active noise canceling earbuds with a few perks that honestly surprised me at the price point and surprised me in a lot of areas. Now, of course, there are a lot of things we have to discuss, so let's start the video off. So first things first is the unboxing. So when you get the earbuds, right out of the box, you are presented with the earbuds that come in a very nice material case. It is made out of plastic, but it has a nice plastic to it. It is very small and portable. I gotta tell you, I miss having earbud cases that resemble this nice small form factor. It has a nice mechanism. It does have a metal hinge, but the whole body is made out of a plastic, but it doesn't feel like a cheap plastic either. At the bottom, you have your legal Gumschmarnrof, whatever you want to call it, and you also have a USB Type-C to charge the earbuds. Now, as advertised, again, excuse me if my facts are off, you can check it out in the description, link to check out the earbuds and also all the information you need. But according to the reports, it is a 6-hour rated earbud with, I believe, noise canceling at moderate. We'll explain that in just a second. If you use the strong active noise canceling, you can get 4 hours. And then of course with transparency mode, you get 5 hours. But with the charging case, you get 24 hours of charge time. So that's good overall. Now, taking a look at the earbuds themselves, these things are incredibly tiny, and I gotta tell you, these are actually one of my favorite designs for an earbud. The earbuds themselves are not only slim in profile, but they actually have a nice design that don't need to resemble the AirPod designs. These remind me of the Liberty Air 2 design, but it does have a few neat tricks under the hood, which we'll discuss in just a moment. But taking a look at it closely, it does come in a nice plastic coating in black with green, but if you look closely, it has a transparency design that shows you the drivers. That is something I've not seen on any earbuds that I have tested, and I gotta tell you, that's a great design. Now, it does have 2 microphones at the bottom and a couple of arrays at the top, but that is for a different purpose. But when you put them in your ear, they are incredibly light, they are incredibly slim. They don't have any head detection or any detection at all when you take them in or out, so that is something to note. But at this price, I wouldn't expect that anyway. But they do fit very nicely in my ears. They do have a different variety of ear tips, which you can customize. And lastly, they just have a nice profile in my ears, and when I shake my head and I put them through my workouts, they're not going anywhere. So overall, when it comes to the design and it comes to the form factor and everything, these things are incredible. Now, let's get down to the tech specs real quickly. Starting off, the HiFi Air does contain several different versions of driver setup, which we'll discuss. But before we get to those drivers that makes the sound quality, let's talk about the touch controls, because that's actually where my first negative is. I'm not a big fan of the touch controls, and this is actually one of the rare times where I actually had to go in the box to actually read the instructions. But basically, the instruction follows. Double tap will not only answer and end calls, but you can play and pause. When you press and hold for 2 seconds, you can switch from noise canceling, transparency, and moderate noise canceling, which we'll discuss again. Taking a look at further, if you tap one time, it increases the volume down. If you triple tap, it will go to a previous track for the left earbud, and then on the right earbud, if you single tap again, it will put the volume up, and then the next track is triple tap. Now, that's actually not a bad, seeing that it has all these functionalities, but it's very tricky, and I wouldn't have known that out of the box. I'm so familiar to single tap, double tap, triple tap, previous, etc., etc. Now, there is a feature for gaming people that like to play games on their mobile phones. It does have a low latency mode, which is very useful for not only playing games, but for social media. All you have to do is simply tap on the earbuds 5 times, and then low latency mode can be turned on or turned off. But one thing to also note, when you put them back in the case, they do shut off to preserve the battery, but also everything gets turned off and goes back to moderate noise canceling. Let's talk about that for just a second. The moderate noise canceling, the heavy transparency, and heavy noise canceling feature. Now, for starters, the active noise canceling on these is respectable. I say respectable because they do a very good job of closing out the noise. However, it is not strong. That's why I said respectable, because it does do a decent job of taking rid of most noises. But higher frequency noises like music in the background when you're working out, or the sounds of when weights are clashing in the gym, or when the birds are chattering, etc., etc. So higher frequencies do get in, but they do a decent job of creating less cabin pressure when they're in your ears, and overall they do a solid job. But I put them in a respectable class because they're not at that level where I can say you're buying them for the noise canceling. Now, when it comes to the transparency, it is on the weekend side. It does let in a little bit, but it doesn't let in enough to hear your surroundings. It does have good noise isolation, but with that noise isolation, it should open up the microphone a little more. That's one of the big negatives because it doesn't have multiple different microphones to let in. So that's something to take into consideration. And lastly, when it comes to the mild noise canceling, I don't notice any difference. It says it claims to be a lower version of the noise canceling, but ultimately it just feels like it just turns everything off. I don't notice any cabin pressure. I don't notice any change in terms from transparency to that. So it could be just a normal off mode, but if it is mild noise canceling, then maybe just my ears aren't picking it up. But overall, when it comes to features and when it comes to everything, it delivers. Now again, sound is subjective to everybody. Everybody has a different profile. Everybody has different hearing. But I gotta tell you, for $50, I was expecting them to sound like garbage. I'm sorry, I don't want to sound rude, but when I saw the price tag, I said, okay, this is gonna be a very muddy, bass heavy sound signature, that everything's gonna be just mixed up and shabazzled with bass, and it just was not gonna be anything. Well, I was thoroughly surprised. So here's the thing. It is using a dynamic driver, which does have a nice deep, crisp low end, but sometimes it can be overpowering for certain musics, and sometimes there's not even enough bass at all. But what I was thoroughly surprised was that even though it was a single driver unit, it had decent separation, and it did deliver nice, smooth audio listening experience. And one of the big surprises that I found was when using it with Apple Music, it supported Dolby Atmos. So combining that with Dolby Atmos actually made the music experience even better. But I will say there are moments when it does teeter on that line between overpower and not overpower. It's right in that middle. It never crosses the overpowering of the bass, but it's just teetering on that line. Now, there is no app support, there is no app at all. You can't really change the EQ, so the sound that you hear is the sound that you're gonna have throughout the entire experience. It does have Bluetooth 5.2, so it does have a nice stable connection, although there were moments I noticed cutouts from time to time, but then it just went away in a split second. But overall, when it comes to the sound quality, it was really not that bad at all. For $50, I was expecting worse. But for that price and for what it did, it was solid. And what even surprised me more is that there's another model, which we'll discuss at the end of the video, that takes the music experience to another level. But but we'll get to that at the end. Overall, what do I think of the HiFi Air? Well, listen guys, like I said, going into this review, I wasn't expecting the world of these earbuds. I just thought they were gonna be another cheap pair of earbuds that deliver for regular general people. They didn't have anything, I thought, but I gotta tell you, I was thoroughly shocked at how well these earbuds have held up. I was thoroughly shocked at how well they delivered in sound quality. I was thoroughly shocked how well they stayed in my ear. I was thoroughly shocked all around. These things for $50 are insane. Now, there are some negatives. The negatives being that this sound profile may not be for a lot of people because it is a little bass heavy. A lot of people may not like that you can't customize the sound quality, the tricky, if I say so myself, gestures. But honestly, for $50, again, I was expecting so much worse. But I was thoroughly surprised. I was genuinely amazed at how well they sounded. Now, if you noticed before, I did say that in the review that there was another model that increased the sound quality. That's because there is another model available on their website that isn't released on Amazon, but it will be coming soon, which is called the hybrid driver setup. This is a system that is used by Soundcore and other earbuds where it combines the dynamic bass driver and using a balanced armature to create separation, detail, making a two-way sound system and deliver the music experience, and that model is $59. So you can imagine how shocked I am to try that out. But focusing on these earbuds just for a second, I honestly was really surprised. And for $49, I don't think there's anything out there that can even top it. This is just my opinion. Again, if you disagree, that's completely fine. I don't get mad if you disagree. But I gotta tell you guys, overall final thoughts, for $50, they are a steal. And honestly, they were kind enough to also send me a discount code. So if you want to check these out and you want to get them for an even lower price for 20% off, use the promo code in the description so you can save 20% off. And if you want to pick these up, I will leave a link to the Amazon store and their website. And lastly, before we go, remember how I said I was interested in that dynamic driver setup with the two-way system? Well, you guys know me and you know we don't settle. So I guess we'll have to just check out the hybrid driver setup for next time. But until then, overall, for the single driver model, very, very good. And I think I can recommend them for $50. So that's it for today's episode of Technoid. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be on the lookout for part 2 where I take a look at the hybrid driver setup. Anyway guys, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. If you dislike the video, you can hit the dislike button. That helps circulate my videos as well. As always everyone, thank you so much for watching. I will see you all in the next episode. Have a great rest of your day guys. Take care, stay safe, have a good day, and peace!